Good evening, everyone. Today I'm going to give a recap of the Players' Championship and show you all the head-to-heads that I played and all the duplicate lineups that I came across. It wasn't a good tournament for me overall. I got sucked into the Justin Thomas course history and the Will Z recent form. They got me in my cash lineup. I did play against some good lineups this weekend, and they were just solid lineups. The only thing that stood out was how many people were playing the exact same lineups. So as you can see on my screen here, they had a pretty solid lineup. As you can see, they had the first place, second place, and a top six in their lineups. And anytime you run up against something like that, it's going to be tough to beat unless you go get the same similar players, or you get a 6 of 6 in there against them, as this lineup did have only 5 of 6. However, a couple things that stand out to me. Not only did I run up against this duplicate lineup, but I'll be showing you here in a minute, there was another set of people playing a different lineup. So I played against two lineups repeated by many different players out there, as well as one thing that also stands out here. When you're playing head-to-heads, most of these guys that you play are going to play the exact same lineup at all price points. So with that in mind, you can now determine whether or not you want to play some of these guys at a lower amount, or just go right to a higher amount, knowing that they're going to be playing the exact same lineups at like the $5 and the $10 entry fees and beyond. So that's some kind of data that you can use to determine when you see these guys listing the, they'll put out their head-to-heads $5 times 10, $10 times 10, and so forth. And then if you see some of the same users up there in the 25, 50, 100 and beyond $1,000 amounts, well, those are going to be players that are playing they have the bigger bankrolls than most of us. But doesn't matter what their bankroll is, they can be beat. These guys are good players, but they can be beat. Just to keep that always in mind when you're playing some of these guys head to head, as well as get to know who these users are, who are playing these duplicate lineups. So you can see here's a couple more guys playing the exact same lineup, and then here's a couple more playing the exact same lineup. So these guys are using very similar tools, or some of them are probably talking to each other in their chats or wherever they're at, and giving each other lineups. Who knows? Either way, these same people are playing the same lineups week in and week out. And they're also doing it in more than one sport. I tend to like to play some of the sports that are just playing once a week, as far as the PGA, NASCAR, football, sports that only come around that once a week, where you set it and you're good for the week. It's tough to play some of these guys and some of these softwares that they're using on a daily basis, because if you're not in front of those computers right before lock, or even after lock, when you have you can swap out players, you're really at a disadvantage to these guys that do that day in and day out. And then here's the next lineup that got played, and you can see one of the top players in the DFS industry. Most of you already will recognize the user, or I should say the nickname of this guy. He got the same lineup played by multiple people. So I will list the players' names below in the comments, but be on the lookout for more of these videos, as I will continue to give you my findings on who the players are that are playing these duplicate lineups. And just like this lineup here, played by one of the best players in the world, that they're probably using very similar software, or DFS is getting to the point where a lot of these softwares and these different sites are spitting out the same type of lineups. Data's all over the place, information's readily available, and so you're going to come up against a lot of duplicate stuff these days. But when you play head-to-heads, it's pretty bad that this many users are playing the exact same lineups. But that's all I got for now. Good luck, and let's get them next week. Thanks.